This is exactly how my one-on-one client manifested a full-fledged committed relationship with her specific person. In this video, I will be talking about how one of my clients, who I have been working together with for a very long time, manifested her full relationship. This story has it all. She went from being in a relationship to being engaged, to the engagement breaking off, to being in no contact, to then being in a situationship, to then being in a full-fledged committed relationship, which is now going to lead to engagement. That is a success story that is going to come up soon. So the follow up to that, I will be making a second part of this success story, or maybe I will make a different success story overall, so that you guys also know more details on how the engagement part went ahead. But let's talk about how the committed relationship part went ahead, and we will go into this story detailed in a very detailed way. So first, what I will do is I will explain her exact story. I will also share when I met this client, because we have been working together for a while. She has been, I think, one of my longest clients, and the reason that she keeps on sticking with coaching is because she likes having me around. It's not that she needs coaching, it's not that she needs coaching for years and years, it's just that she likes having me around. That is why we have been working together for a while. I think we have been working together for a year and a half, something like that. So let's understand the story in a step-by-step manner now. So what happened with this client? I will first share what her story was before she met me, and then we will talk about what we did and how we went ahead with it. So she's someone who lost her father when she was very young, and her whole emotional system was her mother. She also had a brother. Now, because she was the only earning member in her family, she became the fatherly figure in her relationships, and this also transcended past her family relationships to her romantic relationships with her partner. So she took the role of the fatherly figure because she was the elder daughter. Now, when her father she lost her father, she was not earning then. But as she grew up, she was the one who had to be the emotionally secure person. Her brother was quite young. She had to be the parent to her mom. She had to be the parent to her brother. And this is the role that she constantly started to play. Whenever we have to play a very masculine role at an early age in our life, there are a few things that we end up learning. The first learning that we develop, and usually this is unconscious, is that our needs are not that important. Someone else's needs, someone who needs it more than me, their needs are important. The second thing that we do is we start to get into a habit of micromanagement. This is where we start to micromanage each and everything that we get our hands on. And why does this happen? Because we constantly feel in control, and we constantly feel that we need to take control over everyone else's emotions. Because when she was growing up, what she recognized and what she learned was that other people at this moment are not as emotionally mature as she is. So she had to be the one who had to take the role of the emotional mature person, because of which she had to play this role not just in this area but also in other areas of her life. And the third thing that happens when you get into this zone is you are not able to let other people go through their issues on their own. So whenever we go through issues, right, sometimes going through that issue is actually very helpful, because when you are going through an issue, you learn something from this. There was also this study, I read this, where they talked about how when their parents constantly do their homework, they constantly protect them from everything, they constantly do everything for them, these children grow up and become very emotionally immature adults, because at a young age they were told that someone else will come and take care of their emotions for them, someone else will come and take care of their feelings for them. So because of which they are not able to actually learn the art of dealing with life. Now, this is what happens when people are constantly just in their masculine and they are constantly trying to take control of each and every circumstance. As at this time, she got into a relationship with this guy. Now, the relationship at the start was going smooth. This guy became a sense and source of comfort for her. This was someone she used to be able to rely on. And this relationship went on for quite a while till the time that they got engaged. After the engagement, this is where the issues started. So what started to happen was that as the relationship started to get closer, the guy's family was not agreeing to get married to this girl. Now the reasons, I think, were multiple reasons, and I'm not going to label them here just for confidentiality reasons. But these reasons included caste issues, these reasons included financial background differences, and all these things. Also, they were worried that this girl does not have a fatherly figure in her life. So that is something that they had their own personal insecurities of. Now, what she used to do in that moment was, instead of letting this guy take care of his issues on his own, instead of letting him take the masculine role and fight for her, she used to constantly try to micromanage everything. So because she had played that role forever in her family, so she started to play that role here too. She started to baby this guy. She started to tell him, this is what you should do, this is how you should do it, this is how you should treat me, this is how you should do that. And in that moment, on the surface, it feels like she's setting her standards, but the underlying feeling behind it is discomfort. The underlying feeling behind it is insecurity. It's a fear of letting go of control. It's not having trust on your partner. It's not having trust on life, and understandably so, because when she lost her father, she was shattered. She did not know what to do. So of course she had some grievances when it came to life in general. So this eventually went on for a while, till the time the guy said that, hey, I cannot take this anymore, my parents are not agreeing, and I cannot actually move forward for this relationship with you because my parents health is deteriorating and I'm not able to take it forward. This is where they broke up. Now, 1 month after this is when this client met me. So for the first 6 to I think 5 months of her journey with me, she was in a no contact situation. Now this is where we started to work a lot on her. So the first thing that we worked on is we worked on clarity. First, we wanted to understand why she wanted to be in this relationship to begin with. This is where we wanted to understand her self-sabotaging patterns. This is where we wanted to work on her. So the first 5 months of our journey was just focused on her. Now, does that mean that she couldn't have gotten movement before? No, it could have meant that she could have gotten movement one day after which we started working together. Movement is actually not dependent on how much time you take coaching for. Movement is based on not me, neither is movement based on you, because the how and the when is not in our control. Similarly, the how and the when was not in her control. All she did was she continued to work on herself, and she didn't give up because she knew what she was working for. And that is why she kept on going for the 5 month period. Let me explain exactly what happened. So first we worked on her feminine energy, what that means, because a lot of people ask me, what does feminine energy mean exactly? So I will tell you here. We worked on receiving. She was very uptight when it comes to receiving compliments, receiving gifts, receiving help, all of these things, because at the further starting point in our coaching, she was also very reluctant to receive help from me because she didn't have the habit to do so. The second thing that we worked on is I forcefully told her to stop herself trying to meddle in her brother's life and in her mother's life. This is where we practice separation of tasks. What constantly used to happen is, every time her brother used to come to her with something and her mom used to come to her with something, she used to constantly try to help them instead of letting them help themselves, right? All she did after this time is she started to provide them support. Then we started to work on her perception of men. Her perception of men was actually quite flawed. A big reason being because it was based out of her brother, and she had no relationships in the past, and because of which, when she had constantly taken that role, all her knowledge about men came from her relationship and people around her, where she constantly thought that no guy actually takes a full responsibility, no guy is actually going to take a stand, and all these beliefs were the beliefs that she had developed for herself. After working on all these things for a period of time, in the middle, I remember this one distinct day, because the movement happened right after this. So we were talking, right, and this is a she we had a session scheduled, so we connected on the call, and she told me that, hey, I have been doing good, I have been feeling detached, but today I just felt a pinch of jealousy because my sister, she has also been trying to get married, and she got this guy to, commit, and they are getting engaged. And she told me this. She told me that, you know what, even though I feel this way, I still distinctively know that I am the prize. I know what I offer. I know that I don't have to chase and beg anyone. If this guy actually wants the best relationship of his life, he will reach out to me. I am not the one who will do this part, and I will not the one who will reach out, because he's the one who ended up breaking up with me. And I don't really need it. I just would prefer to have it. I don't really need it. It's not really a desire that I need anymore because I have worked so much on myself. I remember the next day, this guy reached out. First, they started talking. This guy started apologizing for all the things that have happened in the past. Till this point, there was no commitment. He had not talked about the relationship. So one day he asked to meet. Now, when he asked to meet, when the first time that they met, The meeting went well, but at this guy, the guy started to try to make something physical with her happen. At this time, she was very firm on her boundaries that, hey, I know that, you already know that I like you and I would love if something works out, but I don't know you yet. For 5 months, I have not known you. How can I get connected with you now without you actually proving to me that you're worth that time? And similar for you, wouldn't you also want to know who I am right now? How much I have worked on myself, and see if this actually fits. Do you see the power in this statement? Do you see the confidence in this? This confidence is unfiltered. This confidence is based out of experience. This confidence is based out of the fact that, you know what, just because I like someone doesn't mean that they get access to me just like that. If they want that access, they will have to earn it. And that in itself is a very powerful statement to make from her. After this, they started going out on dates, they started spending time together till this guy proposed to her. She didn't do anything, she didn't chase him, she didn't try to make it happen. She let him take the masculine role because she had gotten very good at it. Now, as she started going in this direction, I told her to have a conversation with this guy about the marriage part, and to have a conversation with this guy about how this marriage part will go. And this is exactly what she did. She had a conversation with this guy about the whole marriage situation, that hey, if we start to date now, I would eventually want that we get married, and that is where it leads, because I'm not going to get into a relationship with you just for the sake of getting into a relationship. Do you see how powerful that is? Do you see how she only accepted what she wanted and she was willing to let it all go if it doesn't meet her standards? That in itself is self concept work. That in itself is how self concept work should look like. So this is what she did. After this guy told her the whole story about what the conversations happened after she went away. So all these 5 months, this guy was just convincing his parents that, you know what, I will marry this girl and I will do this step regardless of your support or not. Eventually they agreed, but on the surface it was looking like there was no movement behind the scenes. But all this while this girl was working on herself, when there was complete radio silence in her mind, she was thinking that nothing is actually working out. In her mind, at some point, she was thinking that there is no contact. On the surface, it can look like there was no movement. On the back of the scenes, there was so much movement that was happening. You know what? And I will tell you this, a lot of times having a little movement is actually worse than having no movement at all. If you are someone who's manifesting a full relationship, I would rather have you be no contact than to be in a situationship with the person, because the situationship takes you a step back. A no contact actually maintains your power and confidence, because that tells you, that teaches the world, that implies that I'm not going to settle for anything less. She told me the other day that this guy asked my brother about where to take me out if she has to ask me for marriage and everything, and he basically asked permission from my brother. She told me, and I'm not sure if it has happened yet because I make these videos in advance, but I am pretty sure that it is going to happen soon, and I'm going to put a new success story about it soon. But here is the success story of my client who manifested from being in a relationship to being engaged to being single to being in no contact for 5 to 6 months. Then from there, coming to a place where she got into a first they started dating, then she got into a committed relationship with this person. After almost 1.5 years of working together, after almost 1 year of being in this relationship, now they have finally decided to take the leap with all her issues solved. All of this happened with self work. All of this happened while she was focused on herself. None of this happened when she was chasing. None of this was a byproduct of her constantly texting this person. So make sure that you keep that in mind. All success stories have something in common, which is chasing doesn't work. So I really hope that you learn something from this video, that you apply these techniques in your life, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share if you like the video. The link for my one-on-one coaching, my self-help courses, and my free newsletter are in the description box below.